Here. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm going to be talking about my accident. So starting off, for those of you guys who don't know or didn't see the news, because it was all over the news for like 4 days, I got run over by a truck while I was working at In-N-Out. So I work at In-N-Out, and if you've ever been to In-N-Out, you probably know that people take your order outside, and I was doing it this day. It was a Monday, it was September 23rd. I started my shift at 11, and I remember, I started my shift at 11, and I went outside at like 11:05, 11:10ish. And I had a cup of water too, so it wasn't like I was really dehydrated or anything, and it wasn't super hot outside. It was probably like 70 degrees. So I was taking orders, and in the middle of an order, I started feeling like I was going to pass out, and like I knew I was going to pass out. Like it's like the bad, like you start blacking out kind of pass out. And so I finished taking her order, and I started like walking away, but I was going to sit down because, obviously because I was going to pass out. And I remember sitting down, but I was falling forward. So I was like kind of like falling like that. I couldn't catch myself either because I was like too far, like I like passed out. So I remember just falling forward, and that's it. Like I don't remember anything else. I tried to catch myself, but that was it. And I got ran over by a big white lifted truck. So it was like pretty big, like a lot of pound, like really heavy. And I got ran over at like 11:30ish. So it was soon after I went outside. So they don't know why I passed out still. I think it was just a mix of a couple things. I was getting over a cold, like could have been dehydrated, could have been hot, I don't know. But I remember waking up in so much pain, like so much pain, and I couldn't breathe. And I remember waking up super confused, not really knowing what happened. Like I was like, this isn't real. Like there's no way. Like I'm laying here, like basically dying. There was a guy on my left side. I remember him. He was on the phone with 911, and I remember he said that oh yeah, she's awake, and she got ran over by a truck. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's me. I was like, I got run over by a truck. I couldn't breathe at the time because I got a partially collapsed lung, which is really scary, like I couldn't breathe that well at all. Like I literally was just like, and they kept trying to talk to me. Like they were like, oh, like what's your name? And I remember, so the guy on the phone was actually like a police officer, on duty. And then I had a guy come up to me after like maybe 30 minutes after, and he was a nurse that was also off duty, just eating at In-N-Out. And so he was like, like asking me questions, making me stay awake, because I kept wanting to fall asleep, because it's like, if I fall asleep, I won't be in pain. Like it hurts so bad. And I remember like laying there flat. I was just flat on the ground, and I remember my legs, like almost like my tailbone area was like hurting so bad. Like when you sit for so long, it like gets really numb and it hurts so bad. Like that's what it felt like, but like times 10. So I put my knees up, like I put my feet up, so my feet were on the ground and my knees were up, because it hurt less. And that didn't hurt me putting it up, which is surprising because I ended up like breaking 7 bones. But anyways, so it took the ambulance 2 minutes to get there, and I had no family, no one with me. Like this was scary and traumatic for me, obviously. Like a 17-year-old getting run over by a truck, and no one, like I felt alone, even though I had people there, like my coworkers. I remember one of my coworkers was holding my head while they were trying to put my neck brace on, and my manager, I remember looking at him and he was like trying to get a hold of my mom, and it was just like super scary because I was like, what if they can't get a hold of my family? Like, I was so scared. And anyways, so they get me into the ambulance, and so I was by myself in the ambulance with two of the paramedics in there, and I remember them cutting up all my clothes, and I remember they were trying to get an IV in my arm, and like literally within like 2 minutes we were at the hospital. Like, it was a fast drive, obviously. And then I remember as soon as we got to the hospital, they started getting x-rays of me, and we got a CAT scan. Like, I was in the machine when you go in or whatever. I remember that thing, and I was so scared because they're like, stay still, and then they put something in my IV that they were like, you're gonna get super hot and you're gonna feel like you're gonna pee. Like, they put like something in me to like, I don't know, it was something to do with the CAT scan and like seeing my bones or whatever, I don't know. But anyways, I remember that, and I felt so hot, and it hurt so bad. It made me breathe even less, and I was so scared I was gonna stop breathing because I already was having trouble breathing, and then that stuff they put in my IV made me breathe even less. And they were like, take deep breaths while I was in the machine, and I was sitting there like couldn't breathe. So I remember getting out, and they moved me and they put me in a room with all my family when they got there. And my family was like, oh my gosh, like, we're so glad you're alive, whatever. Then they come in, and I wanted pain pills so bad because I'm like dying in pain, but they couldn't give me any because just in case I had to just go into surgery so fast. But I ended up not doing that, but I still couldn't get any water because I was gonna have surgery the next day in the morning. So I was like, they're like, you can't have any water, you can't have any food. But I didn't eat that morning, so it was Monday, and I didn't eat till Sunday night. Like, last time I ate was Sunday night, so I was pretty hungry, and I was super thirsty. Like, I just wanted water so bad. And I remember just laying there, and my family came in, and then they came in and said I broke 7 bones and I'm gonna need surgery on my hip. So I broke my collarbone, 3 ribs right here. They're more like right here. I fractured 2 spots on my pelvis on the left side and 1 on the right, and it dislocated and like shifted really like bad. Like, it was a really bad break on this side. And so they like finally gave me pain medicine though, because they realized I don't have to go into surgery immediately. And it didn't help. Like, nothing was helping. I was like, I need more. Like, can you give me something else? I don't like take the pain away, because it wasn't helping. But I remember in the ER for a while still. Like, we were just sitting there for a long time. I don't really remember that much that happened after that, because it was just so traumatic and like such a scary day. But I had a pull. Oh yeah, I think this happened this night, like the same night, because I was supposed to have I don't know, because I'm pretty sure this happened Monday night or it was Tuesday. But they put a rod in my leg going from this side to this side. It was really small, to weigh down my pelvic bone, so it would shift back down into place, so it felt a lot better, because it was like jammed up in dislocated, you know what I mean, whatever. So they fixed it, weighted it down, and so I was like super high that night. Like, I just didn't feel anything, and that was really nice. And that's when like I finally like didn't feel pain that bad. You know what I mean? Like, I still felt it, but it wasn't that bad, and I was kind of just out of it. But that was like at night, so I was in pain from like 11:30 in the morning till like 6 or 7 at night. It was super painful. I remember that's for sure. Anyways, so I didn't end up having surgery on Tuesday. I had it on Wednesday, which I'm grateful for because it turned out a lot better. But I had surgery on my collarbone and my hip, and if I didn't have surgery on my collarbone, I wouldn't be able to move it right now. I mean, it is still broken, but it is in place, and I'm able to move my arm. I'm super grateful because I'm able to move everything right now, but I'm not supposed to put weight on my right leg, and that's about it. I have a limit on this arm, but it's not that big of a deal. My ribs aren't really noticeable until like I move a certain way, or you know, still taking deep breaths. So I'm really grateful that my injuries weren't super bad. I know this was super traumatic, and like this was a big deal, but I'm super grateful that I'm alive, and that it could have been worse. I kind of had it pretty, not easy, but a lot better than what it could have been, and that's what I keep telling myself, that like, even though it sucks right now and it's really hard, that I'm gonna get through it. I only have a couple more weeks until I'm really healed. Anyway, so I have a plate in my collarbone to hold my bone back to place. And I have a plate in my hip and a couple screws in each, you know, to hold it in place. And then I have a rod from this side to this side all the way through my hip to hold everything in place. I'm really grateful for everybody, because everyone has been so sweet to me and so supportive. I have so many flowers in my room and in my living room. Like, everyone has been super sweet. I'm thankful for all my visitors, and I went into the hospital on Monday the 23rd, and I didn't leave till October, I don't know what day, but it was exactly 2 weeks, because I went in on Monday and I left on a Monday. It was a full 2 weeks I was in the hospital. And now I'm home. I use my crutches to walk around or my wheelchair that came today. But I'm super grateful to be alive, and everyone has been super supportive, and I'm super grateful. And I know people wanted to hear my story and what happened. The news said I tripped and fell and got ran over, but that wasn't true. I did pass out. But if you all would like, keep your comments to yourself on the driver and on me, because it was just a freak accident. It wasn't her fault at all. Like, nobody blames her and nobody blames me. Like, it wasn't anyone's fault, really. Everyone just wanted to hear my story, and I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope that like you guys understand that like this was really hard for me, and it still is hard for me. It was really traumatic, and I'm like traumatized now from cars. Like, I literally look at a car and I just freak out. Like, you don't understand, like, just because I was not awake during it doesn't mean it's still not scary. Now I'm like scared of tires and like cars, honestly. And during my therapy at the hospital, I had to cross a road, and that was super traumatic for me. But like, so like, it's super traumatizing for me, you know. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys understand that like this is my story. But thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.